Welcome back to the What You More podcast. I'm your host, Quentin Harris, and I'm joined by my standing co-host, Daniel Halverson from Bank of England Mortgage here to do the lending update. I know you're getting this the first day of May, but you're going to get two in the month of May because we have so many episodes in April. But nonetheless, we're going to start in the April lending update. Dan, thanks for joining me in the studio again.
Good to be here, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh here. For those that aren't here, about 2 seconds before the show starts, Charlie's pressing every button around here and hitting all the lights and making us laugh pretty hard before we get started. So if you hear a chuckle here or there, I'm still thinking of my producer over there hitting all these buttons and always one more last button, he always says, as he's turning on every light and camera to make us look great in here. So nonetheless, Dan, let's kick it off here, man. So obviously, we get the headlines. In this update, we're going to talk about some inventory things, headlines on inventory. We're going to talk about the hometown heroes coming back. We're going to talk about consumers coming around to the market and facing, the reality of what the market is and kind of settling in maybe. And we're going to wrap up this episode with some quick stats for you and a little bit of, gift for you at the end of this that you can take and use at your leisure. And then we're going to go into the second episode right behind this, talking about rates as well as a couple more things, but rates kind of taking the majority of the conversation there. So nonetheless, let's talk about it. Inventory, man. Kick us off.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find new and exciting things to bring to the table here other than talking about rates for the whole time.
Yes, at some point I'm going to ask you what your pen name is as you're writing all this.
That's it, man. So, yeah, kind of sprinkled in some stuff recently about prices, obviously sprinkled in the rate forecast from some other sources before. But this time I, just kind of wanted to touch on inventory. Obviously, we're moving into the spring months, and I thought it was something that would be interesting to look at, really because unfortunately rates have not moved in our favor as we moved into the spring months.
You're kidding.
Yes. Big
Tell me more.
Breaking news. We're breaking it right here on the podcast. So, last year, obviously, we had elevated interest rates, but as we hit the spring, we kind of were hitting a nice downtrend in interest rates, which helped. But unfortunately, kind of moving the opposite direction. But basically, the general gist of this is listings nationwide are up 30% from a year ago, year over year.
Yeah, and talk about, is that normal during this time?
You generally would expect to see more inventory in the spring months.
Okay, so nothing to panic on.
I think that last year we really didn't, though, and it was a very strange market last year. The economic folks were just waiting on the real estate economic folks were just waiting on inventory to tick up, and inventory to tick up. It just never happened. Right. Usually you see seasonal bottom in January, and then inventory picks up, and we didn't see the bottom until April or May last year, I think. But ultimately, it's good news for buyers, right? For those people that want to buy a home, and first-time home buyers are making up 50% of the population of home buyers right now. So more homes to choose from is a good thing, right? Yeah,
you got to have homes to sell if you're going to go. If you're going to have buyers out there, you got to have homes for sale. So listing up, inventory up's, I think, a good thing.
Correct, and also ahead of the prior year's level for the 22nd consecutive week. So if you're looking this week a year ago, it's the 22nd consecutive week that there's more inventory hitting the market.
So let's pause on that for a minute. So if you're listening to a headline that goes, man, 22 consecutive weeks in a row, Daniel, you're telling me inventory is going up. I think people naturally hear that might be a bad thing. Like, oh, homes aren't selling. People are trying to get rid of their homes. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that actually speaks to the season of the year, but also maybe we're starting to see some people unlock in that lock effect. Maybe they're kind of getting out of that. Maybe they're ready to make a move, or maybe they think that they're at the height of when they can, maybe they're hitting that seasonality trend of better price points.
Yeah, you can liken it to these news articles that say foreclosures are way up. Well, you're coming off of zero from COVID. Yep. So, of course, they're way up, So, with inventory, yes, we're up 30%, but we're coming off of basically no inventory. From 2022 to now, the inventory has been basically non-existent. So up 30%, we're still at a low inventory market relative to what you consider a balanced market, right?
And I think it's real important to kind of go back to that conversation, the statement you made on foreclosures. Yes, foreclosures are up, right? But guys, we have 191 in our entire metropolitan market. It's 0.8. So we're not setting the world on fire with foreclosures. They're not happening. We did a whole episode on why that's not happening. Yes, the headline will tell you that it's up, but it's not. But inventory, traditionally speaking, as a whole, in the United States is about 4 million. And we're, about 4.1 is what they call that trend line. That's the trend line. That's exactly where we are right now. So we're just now getting back to normal inventory standards.
Correct.
And I think that's real important for the audience.
Correct. If you're a home buyer, you get pre-approved. You want to go look at homes. You need homes to look at. And more than just one every 3-4 weeks that hit your criteria, right? It would be nice to be able to see 2 or 3 homes and be able to make a decision on which home you want to buy. That's normal home buyer activity.
Right.
So getting back to that's a good thing. And according to NEFAR, this was in March, inventory was up 3.2% month over month. There were almost 6,000 homes on the market. New listings were up almost 7% in March. And some of that data, obviously, we're at the end of April almost now. So could be a little bit more inventory. I haven't seen what the percentage of new listings is, but the general takeaway here was inventory's up nationwide. It's up in Jacksonville. That's a very good thing for home buyers. And like you said, I mean, you could pull out of that. People need to, at some point, maybe they've been waiting on rates to come down to do something. Maybe they're just willing to go ahead and make that move now, list their home. You've also got situations where really you just need to sell. And maybe some of those people were hanging on hoping for rates, but listings are happening now, which is a good thing for the market.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say this too. We're starting to see in our market and other markets of Florida, I'm going to speak specifically to Florida with this comment right here. I know we got audience members all over the country, but we're starting to see in that inventory a huge uptick in condos, creating more inventory. But the single family trend line is still that of 2020, but we're seeing a very robust amount of condos come to the market. Last time I checked, we were close to 1,000 just on the month. So new active listings, if you may. Now, that's important because I think there's a reason for that. We call it the Miami rule in short. But what happened with the condos out in Miami, a lot of the legislation and requirements that are being pressured on the HOA now to deliver some fundamental things that are very expensive. So you're seeing HOA dues go up, or they're already in line to go up, and the homeowners know it, and they're like, hey, we got to get out of this thing, right? So I bet we see more. I bet we get to about 1,500 in our market. I think it's going to get a 50% more. It's going to continue to come to the market, adding inventory, but it may not be the inventory that the buyers want.
Yeah, no, good
be.
point. Interesting thing to watch, obviously.
And we will definitely got to be tracking that. It might show up in the next lending update 6 months down the road. We'll take a look at it. There's a topic for you. So, we talked about that, and consumers basically settling in, which kind of flows right into your next topic of the consumer. There's a case that says just coming around to the housing market. Maybe they're just settling in, and we're going to start seeing more transactions.
Well, so I'll start by saying I didn't even know Fannie Mae had a home purchase sentiment index until about 2 weeks ago. So I'll start there. But
who knew?
That's right. It's funny, all of these polls and data points that they pull from consumers, and I don't ever get any of these phone calls. Nobody's phoned me about how much I can rent my house for. Nobody's phoned me to ask me if I have a job. Nobody's phoned me to ask me what I think about the housing market. So I don't know who they're calling, but it's not me.
It's because it went to voicemail.
That's right. But no, so the couple takeaways here, the home purchase sentiment index, it basically measures consumer views towards buying and selling homes. And right now in the sentiment, it's still below 50% think it's a good time to buy. So it's still, as you would expect with interest rates where they are, it's still something where most people are saying not a good time to buy. Mm-hmm. We know that's entirely probably driven by interest rates, and maybe some of it by prices, but most of it's driven by interest rates. But, essentially for the most part, over the course of recent months, consumer views are getting more positive, even though we're still not to a baseline of majority of people thinking it's a good time to buy. And up until this most recent month, it had been kind of steadily going up. It declined a little bit with interest rates going up in March. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was, I thought it was interesting that it's consumers are tracking that closely with interest rates, where March they go up and then sentiment goes down. So they're obviously talking to people that are, I would presume, in the market. If you're not in the market, then why would you know what mortgage rates are doing?
Right. But
the other thing that I thought was really interesting, and maybe it's just from a perspective of who we talk to every day, but they track consumer views on the direction of interest rates. And according to the data, basically 34% of consumers believe rates will go up in the next 12 months. 29% believe they're going to go down, and 37% think they're going to stay the same. I did the math. I think that adds up to 100%. If it doesn't, don't at me. I just following what I was told.
No, it does.
So I thought that was interesting for a couple of reasons, because the people that we encounter in the lending world, I would say that much more than 30 or 29% of them think rates are going to go down.
Dude, yes.
So that kind of popped off the page to me, and then I thought about it and came to the realization, okay, well, clearly the people that we're talking to want to buy a home, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe we're just talking to the 29% that think rates will go down, right? we don't really talk to a lot of people that say, yeah, I think rates are going to go up, and that's why I think it's a good time for me to buy now.
Well, that's because I don't share the comments from our YouTube channel. And I can tell you that 34% are tuning into that. And for those 34%ers there, if you want to kind of join that crowd or see other one, check us out our channel at What's Your One More with Number One. But I mean, Dan, there are people online, activists, if you may, that firmly believe there's no way in hell these rates are going to go anywhere but up. And I see it all day long in the comments. We'll get them on this as well, and it'll be a great thing here. But the fundamental flaw in a lot of the logic is it's opinionated. It's not a factual. And I'm not being mean when I say that. I don't want to discount anyone's opinion, but there's no facts behind that. Now, there's a couple of guys online, and I should be reading the user's name. The guys are sharp as can be, and they've got a lot of economic backgrounds in their stance, and they're really, really good. And I appreciate that. But there's a lot of fear over facts online. There's a lot of that going on.
I don't doubt that. And this isn't really a topic about what we think is going to happen with interest rates. It's more so just it's pretty balanced of people thinking, okay, well, they're not going to go up, they're going to go up, they're going to go down, which tells you nobody really knows what's going on, right? But I just thought it was mostly interesting because obviously most of the people that we encounter, I'd say the majority think that rates are going to go down, and that is maybe some of their motivation to purchase a home now because they're concerned if rates go down, prices will go up. Mm-hmm. And they also realize they could have an opportunity to refinance if rates go down. So just thought that was kind of an interesting point of thinking, okay, well, obviously we're probably not getting to a lot of the 34% that think they're going to go up, because I would imagine those people probably are not super interested in purchasing a home at current interest rates or at higher interest rates.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's a great point. I mean, I didn't know the sentiment was popular or even existed until you brought it up here, and I read it on the pre-show, and I'm like, hey man, that's pretty cool. We'll track it and follow it. But what I got from that was the majority of the people think, hey, we're going to stay the course for the rest of the duration of the year. Thought that was interesting. We'll see what happens. Hey, us mortgage guys stick together. We're the 29%ers on there. It's coming down. I promise you it's coming down.
They're all realtors and lenders.
Exactly. So, but hey, listen up. If you have a lender that you ever try to get in contact with that you can't get an answer from, maybe they're busy, maybe they can't answer the phone, man, Daniel is bringing you guys something of value right now to talk about. And I don't want to steal any more thunder. It's all yours. But guys, this is free. So listen up. It's going to be in our YouTube channel at What's Your One More. Download this gift. Take a look at it. Also put the links in there for Daniel and his team. But take it away, Dan.
And if you're part of our mailing list at Bank of England, you got this as well. But essentially, it's our mortgage cheat sheet. And what we did is we took all of the bullet points for most of the different loan programs that are out there that we get questions about, try to concisely give a little bit of information so that it's something. The gist of it is that an agent could have this in their hands and be able to meet with buyers and answer questions and at least give them general information, right? So it's got a little bit of information on different programs, down payment requirements, some of the nuances of the down payment assistance, but it's also got max seller concessions based on loan type and down payment amount. So, like I said, the general premise of it is if you need a quick answer and you can't get your lender on the phone, probably some of the information that you need is on here, very quickly accessible, and it's something you can use with buyer consultations or just with meetings with buyers to be able to give them, a little bit of information about some of the frequently asked questions that you may get that are more so lending related.
And this isn't, don't get me wrong, I want people to use you, but this isn't Daniel Bank of England specific. This is it. You could rip this logo off and put ABC Lender on here. It's for anyone. So I love you keep giving back to our audience and say, hey, listen, granted, it's got my logo. Take it off. Put yours on there. We want you to use this, obviously, but man, this can be used anywhere. And this is another gift, another item of value to our audience. No matter where you are in the United States, this can be used. No matter what lender you go to in the United States, this can be used. It's fantastic, man. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hey, so if you're in the state of Florida, hey, put your listening ears on, because a product or her first-time home buyers that kind of bridges the gap of how to buy a home is coming back to the market, and it's coming back because the funding is coming back, and we're getting the tune to $100 million from Hometown Heroes. Very excited this is back here, and Chip White, who was on our show probably about a year ago, was talking about this program, and it went off the shelves real quickly. Here it comes again. July 1st is the kickoff, and Dan, you want to take it away? It's pretty exciting product. It's good to have back in the market. Yeah,
this is really just a clickbait because we don't have a whole lot of details yet. but July 1st, another $100 million of funding is coming in for the Hometown Heroes program. And, originally there were occupational requirements. That money lasted a long time. They made some changes, opened it up to anybody that works for a company that has a Florida address, and that money evaporated very quickly. So we don't know exactly how long that $100 million is going to last or what the specifics are at this point. In the next few weeks, we should have a press release. Obviously, we'll put that in a lending update, and you'll get it 3 weeks after it's announced. But we expect some type of occupational restrictions here, meaning that it's not going to be open to anybody that works for a Florida-based business or a company with a Florida address, but rather it's going to be limited to certain occupations that would fit in what they consider a hometown hero.
Like it originally was. That's how the program was originally designed.
Correct.
And last year they opened it up to exactly like you said, pretty much everybody that lived in the state of Florida, and the money went away in like 3 months. So in order to kind of draw that out for the next funding period, we're going to probably see it back down to probably the original 50 that, occupational, people that were allowed to get that, which by the way, still helped a lot of people.
Absolutely.
A lot.
Keep in mind, even if you're not eligible under the new occupational requirements, there are other programs that are really good, that are continuous, that are being utilized right now as Hometown Heroes has not been available. So I think it's an exciting thing, and a lot of folks may listen to this and say, okay, well, now I got to wait until June to get this person pre-approved to move forward. I would say, one, they may be able to get something comparable without having to wait for the Hometown Heroes program if they're motivated to buy now. And two, obviously we don't know what the occupational requirements are, so I wouldn't necessarily wait on engaging with clients until this could be an option for them. But it is something that, as you move into the summer months, obviously, hopefully we hope rates come down, but if they don't, this program is something that really helps from a down payment perspective. There's obviously, we could apply more of that to down payment. There's things we can do with that money to help from an affordability standpoint as well. So it's just a great program to be able to have as we move into the summer months here, and hopefully see home buying activity stay strong.
Yeah. And so I'm going to end it on this one here, Dan, as we jump into our second part of our episode here. But hey guys, if your customer is sitting around battling the rate situation, episode's coming up next for them. But if you're sitting around debating, hey, listen, should I move? I'm locked in. I want to buy a home. I don't think I can afford it. I'm priced out. You're a real estate agent. You're disgruntled. You're having a hard time kind of taking all these things on with the buyers. Hey, guys, listen, if you haven't been to howtogetthebestrate.com, you are missing out. Wonderful website put together. Again, value item to you guys for free of charge. The link will be in our YouTube channel at What's Your One More. But howtogetthebestrate.com allows you to learn the techniques and the insight on how to find the best rate with any lender at any time. And if you're not taking advantage of this, you are missing out and not doing your customer justice to help them obtain the best rate. So check that out. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast, please 5-star review it. Please send it to a friend, family member on any platform you listen to your favorite podcasts on. And ultimately, I've said it 4 times now, check us out on our YouTube channel at What's Your One More. Subscribe, leave comments. We greatly appreciate it. Respond to everything. And the entire lending update will be in there along with the graphs that Daniel was talking about. Dan, as always, thank you so much for bringing this to the table and being a guest here and standing host at What's Your One More.
You got it, man.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
I got one more shot, I'm gonna make it. One more chance, I'm gonna take it. I meant it when I said it, now it's time for me to do it. I got one life to live, so I put my all into it, yeah.